Good evening. This is Alana from Alana Your Health Detective and Defeat Dementia with Alana. And tonight I'm going to be talking about food and nutrition, especially as it affects people over 50 and caregivers of loved ones with dementia and Alzheimer's. I'd like to remind you that I do have my pages on Facebook as well as on the web. And you can see my links on my pages, and I do have some posts on this very topic that I've already posted in Defeat Dementia with Alana. Now tonight's topic was actually prompted by a conversation that I was having with an online friend today, who was modifying their diet because they were having issues with brain fog for several years that was affecting their memory. And I know from personal experience with this what that's like to be in brain fog and to have to struggle through it. For me, my particular issue was that too many carbs of specific types were causing me to be so heavy-headed that it would literally put me to sleep. So that's really not a good issue. Hello, thanks for joining me. And if you'd like to type your name in so I can see, Facebook has changed things so I don't get to see who's coming on when they come on. So it would be nice to know who you are as you join in. So again, okay, so I'm talking about food and nutrition. Now this is super important because for many people, they don't make the distinction between food truly and nutrition. They think they're one and the same. And I can tell you from having observed numerous people with dementia, numerous older people over 70, people over 60, and even people in my age bracket, which is the 50s, that there's a really big difference between food. Obviously, many of you know that. You've been taking steps already to educate yourself and to change your diets, and that's a really good thing. And it's really important because while our parents might have known some things about nutrition, they didn't know enough. And what really concerns me especially are currently the seniors that are in seniors' homes and the quality of food that they're being fed. And I saw this firsthand when my mom was in a seniors' home, and she was in a fairly large complex, and it really was institutional food. I wouldn't say necessarily food of the highest quality, especially when people are being served iceberg lettuce that has virtually no nutritional value, and a lot of canned vegetables. And when I was speaking with some relatives just yesterday, as a matter of fact, I have an aunt who's 85 who is in a senior's home, but a very small one, a very small personalized, well, to say personalized, I guess that's the wrong one. It's just a much more homey experience for her, and I'm so happy that her family has been able to find such a place for her. It's in Washington State, and they have a nice variety, which is great for people. But what I was particularly taken with was when they were describing to me the quality of food that her mom is being served. And that made me really happy. But there's one thing that I did note, and it was the feebleness in her voice. And this is a really big sign for people, for anyone really, because it can strike at an earlier age than 80. And in my experience with this, with my father at one point, I knew that he had had a sudden drain of nutrients in his body, and his voice became very feeble. And when I replenished those, it took about a day or so, and his voice came back to normal. And so I can tell you, like I say, from experience, that the quality of the nutrition in the food that you eat, over 50, over 60, over 70, in your 80s and 90s, really has an impact on the quality of your life. And so it's really important that you pay attention as you're aging to the quality of food that you choose to serve yourself and your family and your spouse especially. I'm going to put the burden here on whoever does most of the cooking in your family. Whether you realize it or not, you are holding the keys to their healthy aging. And that's a big responsibility, bigger, I think, than we have actually been making known in our society. When we had more stay-at-home, it's funny that I should be saying stay at home, because now during this COVID crisis, we're all forced to stay home. Again, it's not a political statement. It is just a common sense thing to avoid exposure to this virus. And like I say, unfortunately, we don't have, we're being cut off from our parents who are in seniors' homes, and so we can't do anything at the moment to really help them, which is really sad. It makes me all the more grateful that my own father, at 82, and he's going to be 83 years old this summer, at the end of the summer, is still healthy enough to be living at home and caring for himself. And he's doing that with the principles that I've taught him, which I'm really happy about, because I've seen things in his health that have improved over the past 5 years that speak volumes. And it's the same program that I used on my mom to help her get her memory back. And it helped my father to reverse 2 spots of lung cancer. Yeah, that was super. That was a bonus. That made me so happy for him, because my father is very regimented. And I'm going to get into that tonight and the importance of that. As I said, tonight's episode has been prompted. Oh my gosh, hi Sandy, thank you for joining me. This evening's episode on food and nutrition was prompted by a friend that I was talking to earlier today, and maybe I'll just say it was a he. And he was telling me about how he had been through just recently, and well, I shouldn't say just recently. He actually has been suffering for many years, and it's only recently, within the past 2 weeks, that he made significant changes to his diet that really affected his mental health. His mental health. He was suffering from brain fog, and it was causing him, yes. Is it the internet connection? Hold on, I'm sorry. I'm getting a message from a friend here. I guess he doesn't realize that I'm on. Let me see if I can connect with him. Bear with me for just a moment. Momentito, por favor. Here we go. Un moment, s'il vous plaît. You didn't know this would be an international event, right? French, Spanish. Ooh. Oh, no, I don't want to do that. Oh, it's asking me for a darn code. Okay, let me check I gotta check my email. Why is it doing this to me? Okay. Oh, please. Oh, it's that 2-step verification thing that it's doing. Yes, no, please. Please, oh, I hope it goes in. Please. Crossing my fingers. Yes, let's, oh yes, hallelujah. Oh, okay. Okay, hold on here. Okay, 495. Okay. Let me do, what? What's it doing? Don't you hate that when Facebook throws you a curb? I wanted to extend thank you to my, okay, Create a new password. Why do I have to create a new password? Oh my God. You know what it's like when they does that? I'm so sorry. Bum, 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 bum. Okay, let's do that. Oh God, it's because I have a friend who's trying to connect and he doesn't know that I'm currently on. Yes, I want to stay logged in. You know, it's when they gives you that kind of, I want to say BS, but it's really for our own protection, but it's a pain in the butt sometimes. Okay, where are you? Hold on, I'll be right with you. Like I say, it's a friend who's trying to join the show tonight, and don't give me this. Yes, there he is. Okay, I'm on. Yes, I'm on now. Join me. Thank you. Okay, so I'm back. Okay, so here we go. Oh God, where was I? Okay, before this. Sorry about that interruption. Wow, it's interesting, eh? Having this computer or phone thing going. It's like really exciting, actually. Think of all the power that's at our fingertips, right? Ooh, reach out and touch someone. Anyways, let's get back to this. This is important. So, let me compose myself for just a moment. Okay, so we're talking about the quality of food that we need to put in, the importance of the primary, call it caregiver in your relationship, the one who does the cooking. There is more weight on your shoulders than you realize. Yeah, this is a serious topic. This is a no bull kind of topic now. We have downplayed, I think, the importance and the respect that we give to the one who prepares our food in the home. And it's not, I would say this role has been really downplayed in years, especially because usually it's been the mom, the woman, who has, because of the change in our economic environment, financially, it's required that both parents go into the workplace, which means that mom has less time to actually, prepare decent meals and whatnot. We're eating more on the fly, more fast food, and really it's to our detriment. Years ago, decades ago now, decades ago, there was more of an emphasis on the woman's role in the family. And I'm not here to talk about that, because I do believe that women have should have the decision, the right to decide about going into the workplace. But this has to do with the importance of the person who is looking after the food preparation, meal preparation, and the knowledge that it actually takes for that person to prepare nutritious meals. It's more important than we give that person credit for. And I think more important than our schools have deemed as, like, home ec used to be a thing, if you remember, and there was a reason for that. Again, I'm talking about the importance of meal preparation and nutritious meals, not just any food. Let me tell you what I'm talking about, what I mean by that. I mean, when I see people in the dementia wards and I see the quality of food that they're being served, or the lack thereof, it's very disheartening, because you don't realize how much of a difference the quality of food makes to your body's health and to your mental health. And when I was able to change what my mom, for example, I had to change her diet 3 times while she was in the hospital, because her diet was actually making her situation worse, and they weren't realizing it. there seemed to be no real communication and no value on the importance of good nutrition. When we see, I'm going to make a political type statement, but not in the sense you think, when we start deeming nutrition as an important factor in our lives, we will have a significant turnaround in the quality of life and the length of healthy life that people are living, right down to whether or not they get dementia. And so when I was making changes to my mom's diet in the hospital and bringing in some of my own special food for her, or beverage for her, as was the case, I saw a turnaround in her. And you'd have to read my mom's story on a Dementia, Alzheimer's Think Again, my site. She has an incredible turnaround story. And it speaks really, what's at the root of that is how the changes that I made for her on the level of food. And it was so significant and so powerful. I was told there was no hope for my mom. I proved them wrong. And I took my mom from a state where you would have thought she had no time left to live. Literally, if I had done nothing, oh Lord, it was so sad. It was really sad. She looked like a third world refugee. I mean, emaciated, tubes sticking in and out of her. It was really sad. It was, dare I say, it was hopeless, but I didn't give up. So I'm telling you, and I've seen the difference that quality nutrition can make when I did the same thing for my 99-year-old grandmother. And it made a huge difference for her. Thank you. Hi, Phaedra. Nice to see you. Thank you for joining me. So I'm talking about the difference that the quality of food makes, and our responsibility as homemakers, as wives, as whoever does the cooking. I mean, it's not always the woman. Sometimes it's the man in the family, the father, you know. Whoever does it, the responsibility is heavier than we think. And you really do control the future health of your kids and your spouse. And especially for us who are aging, who are approaching that, I don't think, are you 50? I mean, who's 50? Who's over 50 here? Okay, besides me, okay? I'm over 50. I'm broaching 57 here. So who in my audience is over 50? Who's over 40? Who's over 40? Who's over 40 here? Tell me, raise your hand or give me some kind of sign if you're over 50. Do I have anybody over 50? Over 60? Oh God, over 70? Okay, over 80? It's getting higher there. I don't think anybody over 80 is joining me tonight. So, anyways, yeah, the higher those numbers get, the more important better choices are. I mean, really better choices. And I guess I might as well transition into that part now, is as we're getting out of the 40s, we are entering, or into the 40s, we are entering menopause for both men and women. For those of you who are men who don't think that you get menopause, you do get menopause. And that's when you experience, oh God, dare I say it, the drop. And you know what I'm talking about when I'm talking about the drop. Right, men? It's where you suddenly went from being really nice and burly up here, and then it literally drops. And you suddenly have a belly where you didn't have one before, where it was nice and tight, and suddenly, oh boy, suddenly you got the beer gut, right? Even though you don't drink beer. So, yeah, I'm talking about those transitions. I'm talking about even the transition once you get out of the 40s and into your 50s. You're still talking another whole hormonal thing. Even though for women, you might be postmenopausal, there are changes that still are happening in the body and that need to be addressed, but they don't. My approach for addressing these changes is not from the perspective of illness. My perspective is always to address balance and to address gaps. It's like the potholes in the road, and we fill those potholes, but while we're filling those potholes, we are simultaneously looking after other things without necessarily targeting those things. Although you can always believe that when you're working with me, that I'm watching out for those things too. So that's kind of like, that's a bonus, just because of the knowledge that I have, the knowledge and the experience, and just my holistic approach to health, a person's health. So anyways, talking about these different age stages that we go into. What happens is, you know how when you had babies, you know that when you're nursing a baby, they're strictly on liquids. They are on milk. They're on your breast milk, okay? Or like for my case, I breastfed. When they get a little older, you start giving them stuff like pablum, which is a more liquid, okay? Then you get into a little bit more soft foods before they have teeth, so they can gum it, basically. Then when they get teeth, you get into crunchier foods. So basically my point with this is that you're changing diets as they transition from one stage to the next. It's the same thing when you start having a toddler. You give them a little finger food, right? And then you get their little fork, their little knife. They're getting into more solids, but you still cut them up in small pieces. As they get older, you don't have to do that as much. They transition into the table foods, the regular table foods, and so on and so forth. That stays with them practically for the next 20 to 30, 40, 50 years, okay? Now I'm telling you, we're getting into the 50 age bracket. You got to start making changes, dear. Same with when you're 40, menopause. You got issues with weight that's creeping up on you. There's a reason for that. There's hormonal changes, but there's ways that we can address those. I'm talking again with nutrition. As you get older and your parents, if you happen to be caregivers of loved ones with dementia, this affects you as much as it affects your loved one. And so changes that I'm talking about are going to help you to transition into that stage, the older stages, without you necessarily getting dementia. And working with me, I get into the specifics about how to avoid that. I have developed a system that allows me to identify whether you would get certain illnesses. In this specific case, dementia, because I know what to do to get somebody's memory back. And I've proven that at least 4 times over. And I've worked with other issues like arthritis and whatnot. I can't make any claims, but nutrition does wonderful things when you know how to manage it. And so that is my point with tonight's episode of food and nutrition, is that when you learn to make the right kind of changes for your body, you will fill in those potholes and you will age gracefully and wonderfully with your memory intact, with none of the typical age-related illnesses. And that's what I'm saying is, you see, up until the age of, say, actually 40 or 50, do you notice how people are developing more illnesses as they get older? It's not for nothing. It's not because of age. It's because they haven't done the right things in their 20s, 30s, 40s, and early 50s to keep their body strong. And holes have developed and organs have become weak. And as a result, they start developing these issues with their memory, with allergies, with their heart, with their liver, with their stomach, with their eliminations, that cause them to, their body to break down. A lot of this is nutrition related, okay? Here, let's look at some trends that have been taking place over the past several years, the past, decade, actually more than a decade. I know since I was in my 40s, yeah. We're talking about keto diet. We're talking about paleo diet. We are talking about, oh my God, let's see. Yeah, those are the two biggies, I would say. Can you tell me, I'd like to hear from you, what main type of diet have you been following? Let's say whether it's new that you've just taken up or that you might have been following for the past several years. Let me know. Let me know. I'll watch for your comment. And say hello. Whoever you are. Are you going to give me some feedback? I'm waiting. No? Nothing? Let me know who you are. Oh, I can actually wave? Oh my God. Oh my. I'm still new to this kind of. So anyways, okay, so, wow, keto. Keto is mainly vegetables, meat. We're talking proteins and certain types of carbs, low carb, high carb. We're also talking fats. Well, let's give myself as an example here. I cannot follow a traditional keto diet because, hello, hi George, 30 carbs a day or less. Okay, well, I can give you some tricks about low carb because, and you won't even have to start counting. You won't even have to start counting the carbs because you're going to know by the feeling of it when you have strayed. And then you'll simply know how to avoid it. The ones that, let's see here. Let's get into the ones that a person on a keto diet would like to avoid. We're talking high carb vegetables like root vegetables. They are the ones that are most loaded with sugar and you're going to want to avoid, like potatoes, like carrots and corn, sometimes even sweet potatoes. It really depends on how sensitive your pancreas has become and your liver. It all depends on what kind of meds you've been on previously. It depends on, oh boy, it depends on the sensitivity of your pancreas. Yeah, that can be influenced by meds that you've been on. It can be influenced on whether or not you've had an alcohol problem. It depends on really how much you've abused your body in your 20s, 30s, 40s. It depends on how many times you have actually been on they talk about intermittent fasting. How long have you done that? How many times have you done that? For how many hours have you done that? How often have you repeated that pattern? Because, oh Lord, I have experienced problems with that over the years. And I know that I'm not an anomaly. So chances, I know in my experience with dealing with people that this really can have a negative effect. Okay, I'm not even going to say can. It does. Okay, because we abuse it. There's not enough information out there to tell a person how to do this properly without their body resulting like there's harm that's being done, okay? Part of the problem is that we're not taking in food that's nutritious enough to make up for it. Yes, Oh my God, yes. Yeah. Yeah. Well, intermittent fasting is, like I say, okay, I'm going to give a plug here. This is an unabashed plug for my service because it's a damn good service. I don't know if anybody else that offers it like I do. I know a ton about nutrition. I know about the effects of the intermittent fasting on the body. I know the effects of certain illnesses and deficiencies on the body. I have helped replenish my own teeth when I was at risk of losing all my teeth because they were breaking. I found very little information on the web about how to restore teeth because everybody thinks that it's impossible, and I can tell you it's not impossible. I have done the impossible stuff, so I know what works and what doesn't, and I have had a variety of illnesses, so I can tell you again, I know what works and what doesn't. I have tested a lot of the fads that have come up, the trends that have come up, and I can tell you that a lot of it is half information, unfortunately, and it's pushed out there by a lot of people who have not taken the time to really investigate it. That's my specialty. That's why I'm a health detective, and I have insights into this kind of stuff that really I haven't seen it anywhere else, so you'd be getting the benefit of that. But I do offer a service. I don't charge very much for it. I was giving it for free, and then I realized that people only tend to appreciate stuff they have to pay for. So, I've had this so many times, and you take the information that I give for granted, but I'm telling you, this stuff has saved my life. It has saved my dad's life. It brought my mom back from dementia 3 times. It brought my 99-year-old grandmother back. I know what the hell I'm talking about. Say, no bones about it, okay? No BS about it. And when you deal with me, you get the plain facts about this for your health. You're old enough to know, listen, you've had 40 or 50 years to mess around with your health. Now it's time to finally get serious. You got no more time. You got no more time. This is not a game anymore. If you want to, I'm telling you, you have to take health seriously, because I have seen these people in these seniors' homes, and you cannot count on the caregivers there. They're doing the best they can, but they have their hands tied for so many things that you want to be taking care of your health to the best damn bit of your ability, because if your fate is resting on them and their doctors and their dietitians, I tell you, oh my God, I had my times with them for my mom, and the dietitians kind of have their hands tied, and they're tied because of the budgets that are imposed on them in those seniors' homes, and the doctors, honestly, they do their best with pharmaceuticals, and they do their best, if you break a bone or something, but they know nothing about nutrition. Nothing. So you got to take responsibility for your health now, so that you can be like my dad, who is still fixing his own roof at 82 and looking after himself and following my recommendations and his own good habits that he's developed. This is the time now to develop those habits. Yes, I'm preaching. This is my pulpit. This is my pulpit. I know this like the back of my hand, and I can discuss any of this with any expert out there and put them under the table. But my point is not to do that. My point is to educate you so that you can keep your ass out of a senior's home for as long as you possibly can. That's my objective for you. And keep yourself healthy. You better believe it. Yeah. This is my pulpit. I know what the hell I'm talking about. So like I say, at one point in my life, I was diagnosed, I was in the positive range for ovarian cancer. I know what the feeling of cancer starting is. I know what it is. I've had acid reflux. I've had some serious issues with my nervous system. I've had bumps on my head. I've had brain fog. I've had memory problems. and the stuff that I have figured out saved my mom. You'd have to read her story. She's got an amazing story. And you'll see her pictures. And you'll see this little woman who was a little bit of a spitfire, I'll tell you, for a little woman. She was a dynamo, and sometimes she was hard to deal with. So I know what it's like to deal with somebody for having to change habits and to convince them and to modify what I do so that they could still get the benefit of it and live longer. Okay? And then the only thing that stops you is your own emotional health. It's not, which is tied to your mental health. Okay? And I know your caffeine, oh my God, you know, caffeine, oh boy. I need to maintain the privacy of one of my clients. And it has to do again with brain fog and feeling like you're really low. And there's emotions are tied with that. But nutrition, you wouldn't believe how much your nutrition, the quality of the food that you put into your body, affects your mental outlook and perspective. I had this experience several years ago where I discovered what I call happy food. There truly is such a thing, happy food. We're talking about very high quality nutrition here. And we're talking about one vegetable in particular that I absolutely fell in love with. And actually there's two of them. One of them is called Taiwanese spinach, and the other one is called yu choy. Bok choy also falls into that category, but more so the yu choy. And I discovered this by accident when I was following, I was trying to get myself better from some pretty serious stuff, some strep and candida. I didn't know that I had both at the same time. It was not the typical strep that's in your throat. I'm talking about a strep pyogenes that originates from your teeth. And that's a whole other discussion because I can talk about oral health like nobody else can. So that'll be another night. But anyways, it was during this period my diet was extremely stringent because I was trying to kill this thing naturally. So I, like your issue, George, yes, like your issue, it had to do with let me think just for a second here. I was trying to kill this strep that I had and this candida, and I knew when I was eating the wrong thing because I would experience more activity from this bacterium in my body, and it would cause my nervous system to go like this. That's frightening as hell, okay? But I knew when I was feeding it the wrong things, and it happened to always be high carb foods or moderately high carb foods. And that coincidentally also affected brain fog, and that also fed candida. So you possibly could have also an issue with candida, and you might not know about it. And so I'll speak to men in general here who would be watching my video, is that just like women can experience vaginal yeast infections, oh my God, yes, I'm getting into that stuff. Let's be adult about this, okay? Men also get penile yeast infections. Nothing to laugh about because you're experiencing a discharge, you're experiencing an itch, redness, you're experiencing possibly a drip. Okay? Not fun. And you might not even experience that, but you can still be experiencing candida in other ways. And other ways that they can manifest are with athlete's foot. That is the same type of candida, except that's a topical one. You can be experiencing it with fungus in your toenails. or in your toes. Not fun. No, it's not fun. Candida manages to express itself also in thrush, which is a horrible itching feeling in your mouth, and redness too. And so again, we're talking about the quality of food. And so there are a lot of people that experience these kinds of symptoms and don't realize that it is from the food that they're eating, and it's too high in carbs. So this is where I get into the greens, the quality of greens, getting back to the happy food. I started cooking, and I was eating usually yu choy every evening, and I introduced the Taiwanese spinach. And you think it's the same as regular spinach. Oh no, it is not. It is a special quality of spinach that you can get at an Oriental food store. We happen to have one here in Montgomery that is a Mr. Chen's, and possibly the other Oriental food market that we have on Eastern Boulevard. But if you can buy some Taiwanese spinach, wow. I was having about a cup of that every night, 5 days in a row. And suddenly it was like by the 5th night, I just started feeling, hey, I'm prepping my veggies in the kitchen, doing my washing and cutting them up and all that. And I just felt such a joy bubble up from inside of me that I'd never felt quite like that. Like, it truly was happiness from the inside. Wow. And then that's when I discovered that this Taiwanese spinach is truly happy food. What makes it happy? Well, let me tell you. It's something that you can add in a small quantity to smoothies. But you're better off eating it cooked, because it does have phytic acid into it, and phytic acid it binds to important minerals in your body, and so it kind of takes it out. So you need to eat greens typically with a little bit of apple cider vinegar. And the apple cider vinegar, listen up, I got a secret to tell you. It helps to kill candida. And it also helps to fight the effects of phytic acid. So phytic acid is already being taken out of the greens in the cooking process, in the boiling process. This is also why you need to boil it and not just steam it. And there are also oxalates, especially in spinach. So you're going to need to boil it in order for those oxalates, the oxalic acid, to go out into the water. You're not going to be overboiling it. You still want your spinach to be really beautiful green color. So you're only boiling for like 5 minutes. So you got to watch it carefully. And then you stop the boiling process and you drain it. Then when you serve it on your plate, you're going to add some apple cider vinegar. We're talking about raw apple cider vinegar and not the highly processed one that has all the good stuff taken out of it, okay? We're talking about a naturally fermented, raw, unpasteurized apple cider vinegar. And those are a natural source of probiotics. And then that's a whole other discussion that we can get into, because you've no doubt heard about the drink that you can make with apple cider vinegar and honey, and oh Lord, there's so many variations on that. You can be adding cinnamon and ginger and like blah, blah, blah. It goes on. But if you have the issues of brain fog and you have issues, say, of candida, you don't want to be adding honey, because that will feed the candida, that will trouble your liver and your pancreas, which is already in a hypersensitive mode, and you just have to avoid that. So that means toning it down. Here's another benefit of the apple cider vinegar, is that when you're taking this every day, a little bit every day with your meals, like on your greens, which you should start incorporating into, hint, 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 incorporating into your diet, because greens are low carb. Got it? Okay. So, you're going to get the benefit of the apple cider vinegar increasing your stomach acid. That is super important because it affects your digestion. It affects the absorption of the really good minerals into your body that you really need, that help with your overall health, longevity. Here's another advantage of your greens, and like the happy food, the Taiwanese spinach that I'm telling you about, is that these foods are really high in chlorophyll. And chlorophyll is the best detoxifier besides glutathione, okay? So you are getting an excellent detoxifier that helps your liver in a gentle way, as well as your kidneys and your pancreas to function better. And the main detoxifier there is your liver. And you need to help unburden your liver. And that's where the chlorophyll comes in. So it has many, let's see. Yes, does Mott's have an apple cider vinegar? I don't know about Mott's. Perhaps they do. I know about Bragg's. I know that there might, maybe, I don't know, maybe. Yeah, that would be good with the mother. That's right. The mother is basically the sediment from the apples, and it's fermented in itself, and it has malic acid in it, which is from the apples, which is also another component that helps with detoxification. Hold on, I gotta take a sip. My bottle just broke. My one of my cats knocked it off my nightstand, and there's a seal in here and it broke. I can't drink it from here, it'll dribble all down my shirt. But yes, the mother is so important. Raw, unpasteurized apple cider vinegar contains some probiotics. Not sure if it's Mott's. Yeah, it's probably Bragg's, or you can get it from Costco. And the one that they have at Costco is a good one. You just want to look. You want to look for that sediment at the bottom, and they've kind of grown chintzy on the sediment, like it used to have more, like considerably more. And also, if you can get it in a glass bottle, better yet, better still, or the white HDPE 2 plastic half-gallon jugs or gallon jugs, okay? And so that's a really good one. You'll have to, yes, Bragg's, yeah, it's really good. That's a really good quality one. Let's see, but if you're on a budget, which a lot of people are these days, I would get the half gallon at Costco. Yeah, I would. That's the one my dad gets, because in Canada the Bragg's is really expensive. You have to, if you can get it on sale, all the better. But then they import it, and it's in plastic bottle. It's bottled in a clear plastic bottle, which is the heck is it called? The PP1, I think it is, which is a soft, clear plastic, which is not good. It leaches, and especially we're talking about acids. Oh Lord, you don't want to go there. So my preference is to simply go to Costco and get the one there that's unpasteurized, raw, unpasteurized apple cider vinegar, and it's a half gallon, and it's a good deal. But if you can get the Bragg's, hey, that's a really good quality one, and it's in the glass jar. In the US, you can buy it in the glass jar. So yeah, anyways, so there's the advantages of that. Now, if you have issues here with the candida, the skin type, which is the athlete's foot, you want to deal, this is an internal issue. Okay, there are a lot of seniors that have problems with this, so this is part of our food and nutrition. Call it a little bonus. I do a lot of rabbit holes, but it's all connected. okay? There's so many things that we are suffering from these days. And of course, those big companies don't want us to be talking, don't want people like me to be saying, hey, you can control this. They'd rather have you taking their pills. We know who I'm talking about, okay? And, oh God, I hope I don't get shut down. But we have the power. It's just a matter of connecting with people like me who know a lot about this stuff, and I can help you to make wiser choices for yourself that'll carry you in a healthy way through your 50s and 60s and 70s and 80s and 90s. We have the potential to live that long, and 120, it's just a matter of doing the right thing. It's just not all in our genes. It's what we put into our mouth each and every day. And hopefully we'll be able to get back to a decent, where people can make a decent living so they can afford to put good stuff in their mouths. Yeah, that's really important. And that's a whole other issue. And I'm in the same boat, I'm in the same boat. I have to make wise choices. About what I spend my money on. And yes, I'm not perfect. I have a teenage daughter. She does like things that are not necessarily nutritious. And I have to keep always directing her back to better choices. Thank God she makes decent choices still. But Mom, I'm the crazy one. I'm the one who's making more wholesome, nutritious choices that don't always involve sauces and things that really bolster. But that's the stuff that gathers on our waist, on our hips, our buttocks, our thighs, our breasts, this part of the arm, that makes for that wiggle. Mine is pretty good. Yeah, let's see here. But I got a bicep here. Can you see it through my shirt there? I got a bicep, yeah, like tone, okay? It's important. It really is important that we make these wise choices, because, like I say, I've seen the seniors in the homes. I don't want you to be like that until you absolutely have to. And it means making these wiser choices for yourself, because it affects our longevity, it affects our frame of mind, it affects our clarity of mind. And as, like I say, in this older stage, you need to be willing to, you don't have to give up everything that you like. But I will tell you that when you make the conscious effort, and initially it's hard, okay? We do get longings to stray, but I'm telling you that it's worthwhile making the commitment to this new path, because all it takes is about, it's more than 21 days. Okay, whoever tells you it does take 21 days to make a new habit, but it honestly takes up to 4 months of doing it for it to become a way of life. So you need it, but it's easy. Once you get rolling in this mode, it actually becomes easier, because each time you say no to something that you had formerly, it's like, you know what? You had 50 years to have those things. Now you can have them less often, don't you think? Because look ahead of you. Look ahead of you. Keep your eye on the goal, and your eye on that goal is to have a healthy old age, so that you are not at someone else's mercy for what they feed you, so that you can maintain control of your choices and be healthy. Because honest to Pete, I don't know about you, but I'm motivated by pain. Okay? Or avoiding it. Avoiding it. Do what's right to avoid the pain. I can do slow. Yeah, that's okay. That's what I do. I'm talking about some changes that, you know, you can get used to, and then you start feeling results, and it's like, I don't know, but there's a really big motivating factor in feeling results from what you're doing, and those motivate you to keep on going, don't you think? I mean, honest to Pete, like, you know, what happened to me recently is I forgot one of my own cardinal rules, okay? And I started feeling like a weather vane again with some like storms that we had like 3 nights ago. I was talking to my aunt. I'm helping her. Okay, back up just a bit. I have many aunts, thank God, but I got to back out of this one. Oh boy. Okay, whoa. Okay, can I rewind on this? There we go. Okay, so anyways, I was talking to an aunt. Okay, I can say that. And I was starting, again, it was one of those nights. It was like, damn, Auntie, I'm feeling really achy here. And it's like, and I was trying to think, you know, what I had done or not done recently to bring this on. It's like, oh my God, because I was talking to her about how not to feel like a weather vane, and here I was in the midst of it. It's like, oh shit, I know what to do, I gotta do it. So I started it again, and after one single serving of it, I can't say dose, but a single serving of this, literally within like 20 minutes I started feeling better, and it's like, hallelujah. Okay, you know, so this is, and I'm talking about this, like, you have to be willing to repeat these good actions to dig yourself out. Now, I know if I'm feeling like this, like a weather vane with a major storm coming on, I know that I'm pretty depleted in certain areas. So I'm back on, like I had some tonight. And so I'm doing it every 2 nights. That's part of my routine. And I'll be rebuilding my inner supply, because I haven't done this for several months. So what happens is you do it for a certain time. I shouldn't have gone so long. This is where you would do what would be called intermittent fasting from certain supplements. Okay? From certain supplements, and there are reasons for that, and I would get into that if we like talk more on this subject. But you need to build your inner resources so that you can, if you have a point where you can't have them anymore, they're going to sustain you for a fairly long period of time until you start feeling the effects of them wearing off, as I did just 2 nights ago. And so it's like, okay, I know I got to start that again. So I'm back doing it, and it's saving my biscuits, because, oh God, the ache is terrible. And I've still been doing my regular supplements, but it's just these little extras that just make the difference, especially when it comes to atmospheric pressure, feeling changes in the weather, that arthritic ache. That's not pleasant at all. Might give you headaches. The headaches might cause difficulty in vision, or it might give you this arthritic all over ache, this lower back ache. Wherever your weakness is, that's where it will show up. And then you'll feel it's like, damn, that hurts. Like, yeah, damn, that hurts. And sometimes, I'll tell you what, a lot of this too, I'll give you a great example. I do a lot of meditation, okay? And so I've gotten very adept at, there's an undoing process that happens when you get to the level that I'm at. And I'm actually working in the pancreas right now and the liver. And to undo some damage that I did to myself a very long time ago from abusing sugar. Yeah, from abusing sugar. And so I was in the undoing process, and in the undoing process, I was feeling tremendous ache in my feet and in my toes, and that's where I got to really understanding the influence for diabetics, especially because they experience neuropathy, the tingling in their feet, poor circulation, reduced circulation, and some of them, I have a cousin husband who just had their foot amputated because of this, which really saddened me a lot. And so you have diabetic neuropathy. You have, I have, like I say, I have one of my aunts, again, who was having tremendous pain in her wrists. And I had made some changes to her diet that she was following. And just within 2 days of her cutting out the extra sugar, she stopped feeling pain in her wrists. And I said, "Oh my God, Andy," I said, that's linked to your pancreas, because that was another part of the chain of undoing, that I was feeling the pain, tremendous pain, that's linked to the pancreas in the wrists, okay, as well as in the feet and in the ankles and in the toes, the lower back also, the head, crown of the head. The pancreas, really, when it's not working right and you are feeding it with sugar, oh my God, it affects so many areas. And like I say, it's your nervous system, and you got to be really, really careful. So I know about sugar. I know its impact. I know its effect on the brain. I know how the pancreas affects the brain, fogginess, candida, feeds bacterium. That brings me, which is a timely topic, to this issue of COVID. And if you've been seeing my posts, it's not for nothing that I've been talking about avoiding sugar. I'm dedicated to low carb, I noticed. Yes, because sugar, the nastiness of sugar is that it bumps the B vitamins out of your system, and it also bumps away important minerals. And it's almost like it's the fight or flight thing. It's an instinctual thing. It is the thing that our bodies are programmed for, to flee in face of danger. And sugar is a fast energy provider. And so when our body has this natural propensity to want to take in anything sweet, you see, but when we've abused it in some way, and our pancreas and our liver have become injured, that's when we start experiencing these not so good effects, right? But the problem is it keeps that desire for it strong. And so we have to fight against that. Yes, exactly. You have arthritic pain when you're having too much sugar. It's not fun at all. So that's, yeah. So, and now, based on my experience with this, I can tell you that a lot of it is linked to your pancreas. And so your pancreas is giving you these signs, okay? Yes, in the hands and shoulders. And like I say, in the wrist for my aunt, like I was trying to figure out how to help her. Yeah, I have this ability that's intuitive, and I can also take on another person's pain, which I can tell you is not always a good thing. And especially when I take it on too much, it's really hard to let go. So I'm training myself not to do that so much anymore. And like I say, I was trying to figure out for her how to help her. And then when I realized, oh my God, it's all links back to your pancreas and your liver, and and it's like, oh my God, that's a sign. That's a sign that your pancreas is in distress, and that all the more reason to cut out the sugar, right? All the more reason to cut it out. Okay? Now the only problem is you need to be taking in nutrients that are going to help to restore that. You just can't leave it like that. And it's not anything. It's not simply, I learned through my experience of having to rebuild my teeth, you see, at the time I was following an extremely healthy diet, and I lost a lot of weight. Okay? I lost a lot of weight, and I was feeling really good. I was feeling really sexy and attractive. I was feeling really good. And then I had a major wake-up call. And for as good as I was looking, when your teeth start cracking at practically nothing, something is definitely wrong. And that's where I learned the drawbacks of the keto diet, because I was following a very strict keto diet in my effort to kill the candida and kill the strep that was in me. And I learned that it didn't work. I lost a heck of a lot of weight, but my bones and my teeth began to suffer. And that was scary, very scary. And so that's why I'm saying your best option, like that's why I know about the holes. You know, when I talk about holes in my posts and gaps, it's not for nothing that I know this stuff. I've had to rebuild my health, and I had some things I'm still working on, like how to stop the graying. Oh, the fountain of youth, to connect with the fountain of youth. And I do have some tricks up my sleeve for that. So that's coming together. But yeah, that's everybody's wish, right? That fountain of youth. Anyways, okay, so yeah, I do offer my service. I usually do a whole body assessment. That's what I do. And I do what I call a system assessment, like, you know, if you have like diabetes, and I don't specifically call it for diabetes, but this is kind of like my program for it. On average, they're like $250. This is what I do, but I do follow-ups with you. I do an assessment. I make appropriate suggestions. I look at your diet. I look at everything. They sell that in bottles. What do they sell in bottles? Sell that in bottles. They sell apple cider vinegar in bottles. They sell what in bottles? You'd have to be more specific. Tell me, George, what are they talking about? They sell that in bottles. Sell what in bottles? Let's see, what was I talking about? I was talking about the candida. I was talking about my teeth breaking. I was talking about hair dye. Oh, yeah. Yes, I know about hair dye, but I can't do that. And I'll tell you why I can't do that. For those who might be wondering, why don't dye my hair? I've actually been criticized about that. I would figure that the health information I was giving them would be enough, but they criticized me on my grays. And it's like, well, you know what? Let me tell you about something. Can we talk, or can we talk? Yeah, I know, hair dye. If you have issues with your testicles, or your ovaries, or your sinuses, dear friends, you don't want to be using hair dyes, because hair dyes get absorbed into the brain, which affects certain glands, which affect your ovaries and your testicles. You earned them. Yeah, you better believe I earned them, but some of them was also caused by stress. Well, yeah, I earned them. Yeah, I certainly did earn them. You know, and now I can talk about things like how to avoid ovarian cancer, because I know about that too. And I know how much, you know, nutrition affects that. I know how much your spiritual life affects that. I know how much emotions affect that. I know how much, oh, Maud, hi, how are you? Oh, wave at you. Wow, I know how to do that now. Yes, the gray hair. Well, the gray hair has to do with mineral depletion. And so, I've had my issues with that because, like I told you, my teeth were cracking and I had to rebuild my teeth. When I found out, like many places on the internet that say that can't be done, and dentists say that can't be done, and I'm here to say, yes, it can be done. Yes, because I did it. I know how to do it too. I know what it takes to rebuild a body from a really low state of health, a really low state of mineral depletion. Here's one thing you have to, you want to talk about, actually I do know how to hair. I do know how to ungray hair. But that takes super dedication. That takes 18 straight months. 18 months of really dedicated super nutrition on all fronts, as well as proper detoxifying, proper replenishing. That, you got to be super dedicated to the process. And what that also takes is a fair amount of money to do that. And I don't mean for meds. I'm talking about for the right kind of supplements, and I'm not even talking about super expensive ones. I'm just talking about the gamut that's needed, as well as vegetables. If you think you're going to get this, like I see a lot of, I want to be able to do this one day, but I don't have the funds right now, is to develop, I have a recipe for a wonderful smoothie. And I could do this all in powders, but honest to Pete, I found the benefits of doing a raw, fresh smoothie. And I did that with my mom. It's part of my formula for wellness, and I did it for me, and my God, the difference that it makes. When we talk about food and nutrition, the difference between food, too much takeout food for goodness sakes, fast food, fried foods, snack food, versus food that has high quality. If you have a low budget, start being wise about how you spend your money. Do it for, I hate this. My mom heard one of her doctors say to her when she was in the hospital, "Oh, you can have whatever you want." Oh, do I have this look on my face that says I'm not happy? Here I had just gotten my mom's memory back, right? And I'm a little bit peeved at the doctors, the team there, because they didn't want to listen to me, and I had the authority to make these certain changes, and I got a little bit upset, and then the nurse called the meeting. So here I had just gotten my mom's memory back, right? 6 days. Each time, 6 days. Boom, boom, and bam, like clockwork. 6th day, memory back. Whoa, incredible. Clayton. Hello there, Clayton. How are ya? Good to see ya. So, like I said, I got my mom's memory back, right? And the doctor and the team call this meeting because they wanted to put me in my place. Here I had just gotten my mom's memory back. So my mom comes to this meeting too. My mom at this stage, this was the third time that I had gotten her memory back. And you'd figured, like the first 2 times my mom was really grateful. This last time, she was a little peeved with me because she didn't want to have to do what I was telling her to do, right? And I was telling her always in a very nice way. Actually, at that point, I really wasn't saying, my mom was eating her muffins and stuff, but she was still doing what I was wanting. And it got her memory back, like I said. We have this meeting, and the doctor, okay, you got to understand this. We are aging, right? We are at this stage that is over 50 years old. And the older you get, the more doctors will discount your life. Do not underestimate what I am saying. Because here's my mom in her 70s, and I have worked my ass off to get her memory back and to get her off of her IV and her feeding tube. The feeding tube that the feeding tube that was gastric one through her nose, and they wanted to stick one right through her belly button into her stomach for her to eat to keep her alive. It didn't matter that she would have to be strapped down most of the time. No. So here they are, all they're seeing is age, and they're seeing this lady's not going to live long anyways. So why not let her eat whatever she wants? And you might think, oh, same thing. You know what? The first 2 times that I did this for my mom, she wound up living really healthy until she got cocky. So don't let yourself get cocky, because you could end up in one of these seniors' homes where all they see is age and you're going to die anyways. And they're not going to make the effort like you can now, having all your choices and your wits about you to make the right choices for yourself so that you can grow old with grace and dignity and defy the odds. So what it means for you is that you have to make the tough choices for yourself. And yes, you can start making them in small steps. You know, if you had somebody like me there to encourage you, well, actually we can do this over internet, like what we're doing now, FaceTime Live. This is why I have group sessions, okay? It's to encourage you in this process. And the stuff that I tell you is, well, actually, you know what? You're feeling the results all on your own. I'm not having to tell you, you know, like George or Clayton or Maud or whoever, you know, you discovered some of these things on your own before I told you. Like in the past 2 weeks, like that's fabulous. How much motivation do you think, how much encouragement, or how much, if I'm saying George or Maud or whatever, if you eat this, you're not going to feel pain. Oh, now you're more motivated to do it because you've already experienced that for yourself, right? You already know that by eliminating sugar, you're feeling no brain fog, you're feeling no arthritic ache, you're feeling considerably better. You better believe you are. It's a bloody motivating factor, isn't it? I'm not making this stuff up. Like, I know what I'm talking about. This is serious stuff. So this is the importance that I'm talking to you about nutrition, about wiser food choices, about as you enter these different these other stages of life beyond 50. It's like you look at that and you say, okay, yeah, I can allow myself that maybe once in a while, but for now, stay on the straight and narrow. Make these wiser choices that help you to sleep better, think better, act better without the arthritic ache. And now what we need to do is when you get a little bit more money under your belt, because I know things are tight for a lot of people right now, but I'm saying book a consult with me, and then I will help you to get the right extra nutrients for yourself, the right minerals, the right combinations for yourself that are going to help to carry you so that you're not, you know, doing the hit and miss thing, right? Like, you know, you hear about the latest whatever superfood, and so you go and try it, and it turns out, well, it's kind of good, but you know what they forget to tell you, because they don't know themselves most of the time, is that, let's say, here's a good one, moringa. It used to be a really big thing several years ago, and it's still in the health food stores. I even saw some at Walmart in the health kind of food section there. And this is what they don't tell you about moringa. When you're adding it to your, hi there, Auntie, how are ya? Love ya. Ooh. So we're talking about moringa here, and it's a powder that you can add to your smoothies, okay? But here's the deal that they're not telling you with any of these green powders that you can add depending on what they're made of, okay? I'm not talking, well, I'm talking to you about spinach. Yeah, you got to be careful about that. Again, it's the oxalates. What they're not telling you about a lot of these green powders is that a lot of them are made from obviously leaves, okay? But they have phytic acid in it, which is a mineral binder, which means that it can chelate, which is grab onto with a claw-like action important minerals that might already be in your body, and then they get excreted, okay? Because there's chlorophyll in there, which is a detoxifier, and it's also got, like I say, the phytic acid, okay, which is a chelator, okay? And it will bind to things like, you know, calcium and other minerals, and it will remove that from your body. And I experienced the power of this in a bad way. Some people, there's a famous, very well-known actress, I won't say her name, but I remember hearing her talk about how she was losing hair. And she didn't know why. I knew why. She was experiencing, well, I could guess why, let's put it that way, a type of shock. When you have a sudden, strong shock to the nervous system that can be caused by a chelating agent like moringa, you can suddenly be losing hair. See here, my hairline actually used to go like this, but I have this, like I lost hair there, and I was scratching, and all of a sudden it took nothing, and it was like, oh my God. You want to talk about fear? The fear, I knew exactly what it was. It was a certain combination of herbs that I had put together to get rid of candida. This is before I discovered the value of the apple cider vinegar, okay? And it was like, immediately I stopped that combination of herbs, and I knew why. It's because the power of chelation. Green herbs like this, like the moringa leaf, are actually herbs that you want to use to make tea. This is where the power of teas comes in for the body as extra nutritional value, because when you put those leaves, even as powders, into boiling water or into a tea bag to make like a tea, they lose that phytic acid in the water. And so you're going, I don't know what, there's something about the water that kind of deactivates the phytic acid and the heat. And so you get the benefit of the tea without the chelating power in the raw. It has to do with it being raw. It's like when water is added to seeds, it's the phytic acid they lose that allows them to germinate, okay, to sprout. So, and it's the same thing, the benefits of sprouted grain breads, okay? And even though they're sprouted, there's some of them I can't tolerate them. It just doesn't work. But anyways, getting to the teas. So you want to be careful with some of these herbs. But anyways, again, that's a whole other topic we could get into. So making these changes, I've already made some suggestions for you. That's why I made the green bean suggestion. Hint, hint, hint. The spinach, the greens, cooked greens, having a little bit of that raw in your diet. And salads, really good thing. Low carbs. The importance, again, of balancing between raw and cooked, giving yourself some variety in that way, keeping as low carb as possible. I also look, when I develop smoothie recipes for people, is, and this is what allowed me to help my mom, is that I was able to develop what I call low stress. And this type of formula that I have for developing low stress smoothie recipes that are geared to each individual's needs allows their body, allows what is in the smoothie recipe to come in under their lowest threshold of stress. You see, yours is going to be gauged, George, for example, by, you're going to know like some of the suggestions, you said you like green peppers. Try eating some green pepper, but you're going to know that it's not the right thing for you if you start experiencing a little brain fog, a little sleepiness, a little ache, whether it's in your fingers, your toes, your wrists, your hands, your joints, wherever. And I can tell you, again from experience, that green peppers and peppers are from the nightshade family. And nightshade includes tomatoes, eggplants, peppers, and also caffeine, chocolate. Yeah. And those affect the nervous system. And those, affect the joints, which with arthritis. Okay. So, yeah, that's why. And plus, peppers have a fairly high sugar content, remarkably, even though they are technically, I think they're considered fairly low carb. They're like a medium low carb, but there's enough sugar. Everything depends on the sensitivity level of your pancreas and your liver. And that's going to be your gauge. Okay? That's going to be your gauge. And so you go by that, but I've given you some hints already, some clues as to the vegetables that you should be gravitating towards and incorporating into your diet. And you're going to feel remarkably a wonderful sense of well-being when you do that. And then, of course, using the apple cider vinegar with those greens. So that's going to change. That's going to change the taste for you. That's going to become more palatable for you. And so it's going to be an encouragement for you to continue eating those kinds of things in your diet. And that's for anybody. I'm talking about anybody over 50 and 60. You probably haven't had the habit of having greens in your diet for like ever. Maybe since you were small, maybe since your mom forced you to eat some spinach. Well, guess what? If you need a parent there, hey, join my group. I'll be your parent. I'll be your motivating factor. I'll be your coach and, let you kind of help to keep you on the straight and narrow. And yes, I'm human too. Okay? I do have my moments. And I know the pitfalls too of stepping off this trail. I know the pitfalls. I have one product in particular. I've never really been so happy to promote a product as this one that I have unabashedly promoted. And it is, yeah. Oh, hello, Miss Joyce. How are you? Hi, you're joining me late. You'll have to watch the replay, but I've been talking about nutrition, about, mind you, honey, you're very graceful and you are aging beautifully, honey. So keep up the good work. But if you'd like some extra tips, be sure to watch the replay here. Yeah, you are. I saw your pictures. It was 65, right? It's like amazing. I want to be looking that good too at 65. So, yeah, like I say, be sure to sign up for my group. It's called the Waste Warriors, Alana's Waste Warriors. I'm on Facebook groups, so you can find me and ask to join there. But again, there's one product that I have been unabashedly promoting because I have found the benefits of this more than just for controlling cravings. And because I know how bloody hard it is to control sugar cravings, okay? Sugar cravings, for one, are a sign that you're minerally depleted. That's one thing. But when you're trying to start a healthy regimen and you have the little sugar devil on your shoulder, I don't care which shoulder it's on, but it's on there and it's kind of, oh, you gotta have something, it might happen just at certain times of day, right? And it's like, it's just kind of, you hear it in the back of your head. Come on, be honest. I know, because I had it for 2 straight years. I had it when I was in Edmonton with my dad. I was like, oh no, I started this. It's like, finally I tried this product that I have been promoting. And like I say, I love this stuff. And it just took away those cravings. And it helps you to be mentally free of that, and it allows you to stick with your healthy plan so easily because you don't have this little devil on your shoulder egging you to, oh, just one bite. Oh, do not fall for that. I'm telling you, do not fall for his trick because, well, it could be a she too. I shouldn't be sexist about that. Anyways, you get the idea. Do not fall for it. Okay? Because one little bite can just trip you up. And you know from past experience, come on, don't play innocent with me. You know that if you go to take one bite, it's going to take you 3 weeks before you get back onto this healthy eating plan, right? 3 weeks or longer. You don't want that. We don't have any time to waste. You already know what those things taste like. You already know where that road leads. And that's why you're here, to find out how to stick with it. Yes, I'm preaching. I'm sorry. This is my pulpit. That's what I do. You gotta exercise a little discipline. Getting back to that story that I was telling you with my mom, where the doctor said, oh, let her have what she wants. He was not thinking really about her well-being. All he saw was age, and in his mind was going, she's going to die anyways, so let her have what she wants. Whereas I was thinking, my mom can live still another 3, 4, 5 years if she wants to. And so this is what comes back to what I was talking about at the beginning of my whole spiel here when I started at about 8:15 or 8:20 tonight is this thing about, we can live to be a ripe old age. I actually have my program called Golden Keys, my Golden Keys program for aging gracefully and with a clear memory. And truly, I'm seeing how my program literally transformed my mom's life and extended her life by, well, the first time there was 11 months that she stuck with it until her ego got the better of her, decided she didn't want to listen anymore. And then how it brought her back from literally death, because she weighed 69 pounds at the time and was on a gastric nasal tube, intravenous, and a catheter. And my program did that for her, brought her back. She couldn't swallow. That's why she was on the gastric nasal tube. So I saw how it took her off of that. It got her, she was walking again, albeit with help because she had a minor stroke. She had her memory back again. The stuff that I'm advocating is better nutrition for a reason, because I have seen miracles happen. I see my father's life at 82, keeping him going when he could well be in a senior's home, but isn't. Okay? The subtle changes that it makes. My father, I've been after my dad to stop smoking. He had 2 spots of lung cancer on his lungs, okay? My dad likes to take some puffs of his cigarette. A couple puffs. Takes him 3 days to get through a cigarette. So he was still doing that, but he was following doing my smoothies, doing the vitamins that I was recommending, moderating, kind of minimizing his amount of sweets, eating consistently. Oh, I'll get on that in a moment. And he was on my plan right from when I started it with my mom. And so it took 2 years, but when he went back, like more than a year ago now, he had 2 lung scans, no more lung spot, no more cancer on his lungs, none. Nutrition, folks, makes a huge difference. Nutrition, the right supplements, the right combination of things, it makes a huge difference for your life. Makes a huge difference for aging healthy. So now I'm getting back to, let's see. Oh yes, okay, I'm talking basically for people who watch this, as I promised, for caregivers of loved ones with dementia. You're going to want to read my post on my oh my God, well, it's either Defeat Dementia with Alana, but I think it's on the, well, it's in my group or in the Dementia Alzheimer's Think Again. I did a post about the importance of a schedule, the importance of, and this is what contradicts intermittent fasting and who should not be doing fasting, okay? Definitely, you're not going to be doing that with your seniors who have dementia. But I'll tell you what happens. In a way, it's happening for those seniors that are in seniors' homes. They don't call it intermittent fasting. What they call it is only feeding them at noon and at 5 o'clock and at 9 o'clock in the morning. That for them, those gaps is too long. It's too long for them to go without food because a lot of people adapt a routine of eating less as they age, as they get past a certain age. You know, my mom was doing it. I know my aunt was doing this. Actually, my grandparents were doing this. My grandparents kind of were on a better schedule. A lot of people as they age do this. They think that they're not as active, they don't have to eat as much. But here's the truth of it. Our body and our heart still needs the same amount of nutrients consistently, okay? And when we exercise more, we burn up those things. We use them. We use them by burning the calories of them. But there's a big difference between calories and nutrients, okay? When people follow the nutritional plan that I recommend for them, that I guide them to, like when we do a consult, okay, and I get into everything. I get into like everything, your whole life. I'm talking spiritual, I'm talking emotional, I'm talking relationships, I'm talking diet, I'm talking medications, past history. I mean, I look at everything, okay? And when we, like I say, when we age and we're decreasing the amount of food, what we have to be doing is we have to be making proper substitutions instead. So get rid of the empty calories, candies, foods with no nutritional value, and substitute them for better quality foods. A lot of people need help with this. What is better quality foods? Get into that in my group. You got to join my group for that. Then I enforce this, I encourage this for you so that you can learn, because it really is a learning experience, especially if you haven't been taught this or haven't been following this for years. Oh, we lost you. Oh, okay, explain. What did you mean we lost you? Dropped? Internet-wise? Internet? What happened? Let me know, was it an internet disconnect? I couldn't tell because it was still filming, it looked like. Holy crap! Oh my God, it's late. I didn't mean for it to go this late. Oh, geez, see, this is a really big topic. I mean, holy cow, this is a big topic. Okay, I'm going to have to continue this because I think I'm going too long here. I'm so sorry. I should do a series, like I said. Okay, we can do this, continue this, maybe, let's see, maybe on Wednesday night. Let's do this on Wednesday night, okay? I'll do this again, or no, hold on. Next Monday is June 1st. Okay, next Monday. Monday's my night. Join me again next Monday, okay? We'll continue this. In the meantime, your video stopped, yes. Okay, join me again next Monday. I will continue this discussion of food and nutrients. I'll be talking about schedule, especially for seniors, especially for the caregivers who are looking after people with dementia. I will get into, again, we'll see what rabbit hole I end up going down because there are so many dimensions. There's so much knowledge I have to share on this. Oh, how did that happen? Yeah, join me again next Monday. In the meantime, if you'd like to schedule a consult with me, we can get things rolling for you. At this point, for my programs, it's usually like $250 I do per main, like call it health organ, like if you have diabetes, something like that. But I'm offering a special right now that is, I think it's like $47, and I basically give you the whole program for $47, and that includes some online ongoing consults, follow-ups with you to make sure that you're implementing stuff the right way, nutritional suggestions, help for when you go shopping, basically a very simple way to streamline your life and just your thinking, to revamp your habits. And yeah, and basically that's it. I talk about, like, I make my suggestions for supplements that would help to fill your gaps and all that. I'm actually doing more than my system. It's you're kind of getting like my $1,000 thing, because it's a whole body, holistic, whole shebang thing with I haven't figured this out. This is kind of on the fly here, but you get like, I think it's like a year's worth of support in my group, and that I do some lives where you can ask me questions. And like I say, there's a whole bunch that goes on. You get my wealth of knowledge. You get the ability to ask me questions more pointed towards your specific issues. And that's where it's at. So I'm, like I say, giving you my whole program for like $47. Drop me an I'm in, and I will get you the link. And that's going to be it for tonight. Thank you for joining me. Sorry that this dragged on. I should have put a stopwatch here. It's like 2 hours. Oh my God. I'll see you next week. Again, thanks for joining me. I'll be here, and then after, probably in my next session, it'll be in my group. So be sure to join my group, my Waste Warriors, Alana's Waste Warriors group, through Facebook groups. And gosh, that's it for now. Thank you again. Love ya. I only wish you the best of health, well-being, and graceful aging. Truly. Here's to graceful aging. Bye for now.